Pay close attention, because what I'm about to reveal is something most Americans have absolutely no idea is happening. In just 7 days, a notice from the Social Security Administration could land in your mailbox, and that single envelope has the power to reshape your 2026 benefits in ways you never saw coming. Before we go further, make sure you're subscribed right now so you don't miss urgent SSA alerts like this. I break everything down simply so you always know what's coming before it hits your wallet. What I'm talking about here is real. Your monthly payment amount, your future cost of living increase, even your ongoing eligibility for programs like SSI and SSDI could be affected. This isn't speculation. This isn't an exaggeration. This is something quietly unfolding inside the SSA that almost nobody is talking about. Not the major news networks, not members of Congress, not even most retirement advisors. But here's the bottom line. If this letter shows up at your door, the agency is putting you into a category that has the potential to alter your 2026 payments in ways you probably aren't expecting. And here's the unsettling part. You might not even know you're being reviewed. You might not know you're on this list. You might not realize that how you respond to this one notice could determine whether your benefits increase, decrease, or, in rare cases, get paused altogether. So, think about it. If the SSA suddenly needed new information from you, would you know what to do? Would you know what forms they expect? Would you know the deadline? Because even a small delay or a missing document can trigger issues in your payment schedule. But here's the twist. Not everyone is going to receive this letter. Only certain groups are being targeted, and the categories they're reviewing this year are completely different from what the SSA has done over the past few cycles. That's why staying with me until the end is so important. If you rely on Social Security, SSDI, SSI, survivor benefits, or retirement income, every detail I'm about to break down directly affects your money. And just so you know, for some people, this letter might actually raise your benefits. It might correct errors, update outdated income information, or fix mistakes that have kept your payments lower than they should be. But for others, the outcome could be the opposite. Now, the obvious question is, why now? Why is the SSA preparing to send out these notices within 7 days? Why the sudden wave of urgency? Why is all of this happening without any major public announcement? To understand that, we need to go back a few months, because this didn't start with the letters. Behind the scenes, the SSA has been preparing one of the largest income and eligibility verification cycles in years, and it's tied directly to the 2026 payment formula, updated budget requirements, and a set of verification mandates Congress quietly inserted into last year's government funding measures. Most people don't realize this, but every few years the SSA is required to recheck the information of millions of Americans, not to penalize anyone, but to make sure records are accurate. Normally, this is slow and quiet. But this year is different. This time, the agency has been instructed to complete these verifications before the 2026 COLA and Medicare adjustments are finalized. That means more letters, tighter deadlines, and a much broader sweep of beneficiaries being pulled in. What nobody is talking about publicly is that federal oversight committees have pressured the SSA to clean up outdated files, verify income sources, confirm disability eligibility, reassess living arrangements, and verify supplemental assistance, all ahead of next year's benefit recalculation. That's why these letters are being pushed out over the next 7 to 10 days. The SSA wants every affected file updated before they lock in payment amounts for 2026. There's another layer to this. After the last near shutdown, new oversight rules forced the agency to double-check categories that were barely touched during the pandemic years. This includes people whose earnings changed, people receiving help from state aid programs, people who may have had medical improvements, and even people who simply haven't been reviewed in years. Starting this week and continuing through next week, batches of letters are going out to retirement beneficiaries, SSI recipients, SSDI recipients, and even people who don't realize their file is being evaluated. The letters aren't all the same. Some ask for updated financial info. Some request verification of living arrangements. Some ask for medical updates. Some are warnings. Some are formal notices that your 2026 benefit amount is under review. But here's the key. Getting a letter does not mean you've done something wrong. It just means the SSA needs information that will directly determine your 2026 payments. But ignoring it, responding late, or failing to send the right documents could create issues you never intended. The SSA is working under major pressure. They're trying to update records, clean up old files, recalculate benefits, and prepare 2026 payment structures all at once, with tight deadlines. Some letters give as little as 10 days to respond. And this is why this letter matters so much. If you receive one, it means the SSA believes your file could influence your 2026 benefit amount. If you don't get one, it means your file might already be up to date, or your letter will come later. So, what kinds of changes can these letters trigger? Can they raise your 2026 payments? Can they reduce them? Can they cause temporary pauses? This is where the impact becomes very real. If you're on SSI, the review could determine whether your 2026 payment goes up or stays the same, or whether the SSA needs more information before confirming your eligibility. If they find incorrect data in your file, they may temporarily freeze your payments until everything is verified. But if they find errors in your favor, your payment can increase. In fact, every year, thousands of SSI recipients get raises after these reviews. If you're on SSDI, your review may involve checking updated medical records, confirming your disability status, or verifying work activity. Responding quickly protects your benefit amount. Delays can trigger temporary pauses. Retirement beneficiaries may be asked about pensions, wages, or changes in other forms of income. Even small updates can shift the 2026 benefit calculation. If the SSA finds more accurate data, your payments may increase. If they can't verify certain income, your check might be temporarily adjusted. Here's a real-world example. In 2023, over 40,000 SSI recipients had their benefits paused simply because they didn't return a form, not because they did anything wrong. Once the paperwork was submitted, benefits restarted, but the wait was weeks or months. Meanwhile, others discovered that incorrect income reporting had been reducing their payments for years, and once corrected, they received larger checks and back pay. This same situation can happen again during the 2026 recalculations. So here's the bottom line. This letter has the power to increase your payments, decrease them, freeze them, or unlock corrections that raise your benefit. It all depends on your information and how quickly you respond. Your 2026 payments will be based on whatever is in your SSA file when final calculations are made. If your information is outdated or incorrect, your payment will reflect that. And remember, these letters come with deadlines. If you wait too long or ignore it, the SSA will simply assume the current information is correct, even if it isn't. So what should you do the moment the letter arrives? Open it immediately. Read the instructions line by line. Collect the documents requested. Respond as early as possible, not at the last minute. If you don't get a letter at all, it doesn't mean you're clear forever. It may come later or your information may already be correct. Log into your SSA account and make sure everything is updated. Watch out for scams too. The real SSA will never call you asking for money, gift cards, or banking passwords. Your 2026 payment year is shaping up to be one of the most important in a long time. With COLA changes, Medicare adjustments, new rules, and these verification waves, your benefit amount will depend heavily on accurate records. You're not navigating this alone. Millions of Americans are going through the same process, and most people complete it without issues as long as they respond quickly and carefully. So, stay alert, stay informed, and be ready. Your benefits are too important to gamble with. If this helped you, make sure you're subscribed. I'm here every week clearing up the confusion and helping you protect every dollar you deserve. Stay aware, stay prepared, and remember, your future is worth defending.